Welcome back, everyone. Last time we did this. This time we're gonna try and do this. And I don't know if it's possible in one episode, but join me for the ride. But look, I've noticed something. The tree, it's changed. It's grown, and some of the other trees around the base have disappeared. What happened? Well, I think it's Christmas time. In fact, I know it's Christmas time. And despite all of our transgressions against nature, we've received a few gifts. Isn't that nice? But we can't open them yet because it's not Christmas, so we'll open them later. But unfortunately, we haven't received any other blessings. Mostly because it's Gregtech and the blessing is you giving it time. So let's have a look at how we can finally get to the Stargate. Let's pick a chain and go down it today. And I think we're going to go down through to the shrub laser beam concentrator and emitter capable stellarium casing. We only need one of these, I'm pretty sure, and it's for the runic circuitry assembler, which other than the little bit of stellarium we need for this, it actually looks achievable, like we may be able to make this today. So let's get cracking. So let's scan some recipes and see what we need. So nequadric netherite dust, a super interesting recipe. Let's get that in there and see. Oh my gosh, it actually pasted in right. Insanity. Okay. There's one. Now the next is going to be Screrit runic laser source base dust, which seems to have also pasted correctly. And then we need to make an exquisite Screric. This is such a tongue twister. We need to make another exquisite Screrit runic laser source base. And from now on, I'm just going to call them secret laser base. We need a flawless and then a regular crystal. So we need 4 dust in an implosion compressor, which honestly isn't that bad. Yep. No other way to make it. So let's just request. So into our UV mixer, I believe these have no circuit, so there should be no recipe conflicts. And let's just request some of the dust. We're missing titanium dust. So just set the recipe into the macerator, and now we can request. What is going on here? Well, it's been pasted incorrectly. It has not been pasted incorrectly. It looks like we might need to make the large mixer here because we need 32 buckets of oxygen gas. Okay, sidetracking. So the large mixing vessel is just going to take this. All we need to do is be able to make a IV mixer. It uses reaction-safe casing mixture, which is things we can't make. Wonderful. Maraging steel 300, which we can make. Wonderful. And then a Hastalloy X plate, which we can also make. So not too bad. Let's just put those in and make a large mixer. And we actually have a super parallel control hatch, which we can use for the mixer as well. So let's just make an ultimate one for 64 recipes instead. Or I guess not, because we're out of PBI. So large mixing vessel, I think that's PBI. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll have to wait for those buffers to restock, but when we come back, you'll see a large mixing vessel. Wow, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? 24 seconds running at UHV. But here's the big one. Here's the actual recipe we need. The Screrit runic laser source base dust. 150 seconds at UHV. Isn't that just insane? And that's one Christmas present off the list already. Let's make it exquisite. So let's just put this in the implosion compressor. Boom, 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 boom. We now have 12 of the base crystals. And now to upgrade them, we need a laser engraver with a white lens. So we have a bunch of laser engravers in here. Let's just find the white lens. Okay, so we don't have a glass lens, so let's just lathe a glass pane. 15 seconds, and we'll get a glass lens. Okay, now we can just zip, zoop, zap, and get ourselves some enhanced crystals. They're up to flawless now. And once more, I do believe, to make exquisite. Beautiful. There we are. The exquisite Screrit runic laser source base. Quest complete. And we really only need one. This recipe takes an hour. It is 53 minutes at UV. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll keep working on that. The next 2 things we need are stellarium and melodium. So stellarium is neutronium dust, melodium dust, and dragon steel dust. And melodium is mercury, barium, calcium cuprate, electrum, amethyst, darmstadtium, and europium. Well, I wonder if we're going to have to make lots of those. We are. Well, let's just set some recipes here. Okay, perfect. So we need to be able to make... Oh, well, look, it's melodium and then dragon steel. Okay. So dragon steel dust. We could use our mixing recipe here, but I think we'll just use a maceration recipe since we can make this a lot faster with the alloy blast furnace. And then melodium. So we need to be able to make mercurium, barium, calcium, cuprate dust, and darmstadtium dust. And mercury, that's circuit 4. Nope. Okay, great. Alright, so it's 1 bucket of mercury, which we can't make. It's 8 buckets of oxygen, 2 barium dust, and 2 copper dust, and it's circuit 4. Oh, it's 2 of both, actually. And 3 of copper. Yeah, nice. Okay, perfect. So let's just be able to make ourselves some mercury. What we can do is we can just throw redstone into a centrifuge. There we go. So now the recipe is going to say 10 redstone dust is going to make 3 mercury buckets. We don't care about the rest. Because we really, we don't care about silicon, pyrite, and ruby. And just for the sake of adding it to auto crafting, let's just craft a LUV, oh my gosh, an LUV centrifuge. That never stops being annoying. And so then we'll also just set the recipe for darmstadtium. There's the ingot. And there's the centrifuge. Can just go on the wall of crafting. No reason for it not to. Pattern provider. Put our mercury pattern in there. And enable the settings. Good. All done. So I think we are going to have to replace these with our UV hatches. And also replace the coils with titanium. But let's see. Molten stellarium is a circuit 13. So that's circuit 12, 13. So molten stellarium. But not before I realized that we actually need to set this up properly. So 2,448 millibuckets divided by 144 is 17. So we need to get 17 ingots out of this because we're just going to send molten stellarium into the freezer. And melodium, 4,320 millibuckets divided by 144 is 30. So there will be 30 ingots out of this, which feels wrong. Those don't seem to add up. Let's just check that we've done that right. Well, 14 electrum. That would be why. There we go. So that's 15 there. 6 and that's, again, doesn't feel right. 7, 4, 3. That's why. All right. It's good that we check this now and not find out later. That works, that works, that works. Perfect. So 2 macerate. There we go. 2 macerators, a mixer, and 2 blast furnaces. Are they both on circuit 13? No. Melodium, circuit 15. I think circuit 15 is on the top. There's 16. There's circuit 15, which will receive melodium. And circuit 13 gets stellarium. The clean room mixer, which is now becoming our superconductor mixer because it's on circuit 4, can get the dust. And our macerator can have the darmstadtium and dragon steel. And since we're no longer using these blast furnaces, let's just take the coils. And we can replace the ABFs. And now we can just remove our converter, wires. They can be replaced with UV energy hatches. We'll use our UV wire as well. Place the converter. Connect all of the wires up. And soft mallet to make it convert correctly. All done. And now we will add molten stellarium and molten melodium to the vacuum freezer. The big boy one, of course. And let's request a craft of stellarium. And that's very smart of me. We'll just macerate an ingot. And now we can request some stellarium. Perfect. That's only going to take like 4 years, right? And there is the first craft of melodium. Keep in mind, that's 20 minutes at ultra high voltage. This is why these episodes take so long. God damn. And here's what the craft of the stellarium is going to look like at our current tech tier. So maybe we make the ultra high voltage coils. That honestly doesn't really look that terrible, so let's just make it. First step is going to be upgrading the energy tier of the assembly lines. So doing our standard flux points and converters, we now have both of our assembly lines running at ultra high voltage. Step 1, complete. Step 2 is going to be researching the UHV energy hatch. Only a few seconds, right? Step 3 is going to be setting the recipe. So UHV energy hatch, let's just see. We can make everything except the machine hull and the wire. Machine hull is going to be pretty easy. It's our standard stuff. Europium cabling, easy. Ultra high voltage machine casing, also pretty easy because it's just neutronium plates. And then 2x ruthenium, trinium, americium, neutronate wire, also easy. And the research is finished. We'll put that in our databank. And let's request 10. Why can't we make it? We're missing europium wires. That seems to be it. Cool. All right. So that is just this. That is really, really simple. Can't believe we missed that. And we have europium on passive. So now let's get 10. There we are. How much is that going to take? It doesn't look too bad. All right. There we are. Let's see. But anyway, I think we can make our Drac Ion runic wave generator. Which, ooh, maybe not. Let's actually try and see what we need out of this. Yeah, the 64 energy clusters is going to take some time. Some stellarium screws, some melodium foils, and some prismalium foils. I think those are the things that we actually need to be able to make. It's also probably going to be really rude and put those all as individual bits. I think we can split them up, but it's whatever. Let's just sort that out. So energy clusters. What do we need out of these? Quadria bolts. I think we definitely need to research that. That's okay. We need to make energy modules, which appears to be just trinium bolts. That's fine. We can make everything else. Lapatronic energy orb clusters. Looking kind of worrying here as well. Naquada bolts and a data stick. Okay. Ooh, we should check that that's actually the right amount of circuits. Yeah, it's not. It's 4 circuits. That means all of these will be wrong as well. 4 ZPM circuits. That's using the wrong one. It is that one. So 4 ZPM circuits. Good. And that means this one will probably be wrong as well. No, it's not. That's crazy. It's not wrong. That's so funny. That's the first time that's ever happened. And let's just make sure for the... Yep, that's all we need. We have that. Okay, so what's next is let's just unfavorite some of the things we've already made. Alright, stellarium screws, which will just lay the bolt and then extrude the bolt. Melodium foil, easy. Prismalium foil, also easy. Naquadria bolts are going to be a simple extrusion, same with trinium and Naquada. So I think that's everything required, other than extracting 32 buckets of Naquadria and 50 minutes of our time? Yeah. 53 minutes of our time for this craft, which we're running it at UHV, which means, oh, joy, it's half. So it's only 26 minutes of time to craft this, plus however long it's going to craft all this stuff. But there's literally no better time to start than now. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to need to actually research all of the energy orb clusters. So let's just craft the first Lapatronic energy orb. We've already got the IV one, which can be made in assembler, but this one is going to require the assembly line. And then we need to use it to research a energy module. And then we need the energy module to research the energy cluster. Yes, the next 2 hours of my life are going to be spent doing this. I'm doing just fine. Thanks for asking. And also, I just want to extend my sincere apologies for recording probably about 5 minutes of this episode with the streaming overlay on. I am one tired boy trying to crank out these episodes before I go away for 2 weeks. But hopefully, quality doesn't dip and you can still enjoy this. Okay, there's the orb cluster. We'll put it through for some research. Very fast research, actually. So fast, it's already done. Next step is going to be the energy module. A little bit more complicated, but not too bad. And now we've got our energy module. Let's research it with a data module. And now we can place our energy cluster data module with the others and just request the runic wave generator. Okay, we're missing a few things. Our buffer of RAM wafers is too low. Same with our buffer of crystal CPUs. Actually, it looks like all of our wafers and 6.3 thousand PBI ingots. That's a bit more than we have. Yep, that looks like just a lot of buffering issues. Oh my word. Okay, let's see how many of these we can request. So not 32, not even 16. Why can we not? Oh, it's PBI. I think we have enough PBI. Let's just increase the buffers. Or even better, let's just auto solidify ingots so we don't have to have this buffering issue. We do have an on-demand fluid solidifier. Let's see now. Nope, still can't make it. What's the buffering issue this time? Carbon and silicon rubber. And we are out of Nequadria? Oh my. We must have used all of it for our fusion reactor. Yeah, that's... Oh, that's a worry. How much neutronium did we end up making? That's probably enough. I think it might be time to upgrade this blast furnace in particular. Okay, so this blast furnace is absolutely going to get the UV bus treatment because it needs to be way, way faster. All the usual stuff, and done. There we go. Let's see how quick we have upgraded this blast furnace to. So it's 8 seconds per Nequadria ingot. That's still not very good. It's making me kind of tempted to make titanium coils here. But you know what? That's probably fine. It was a passive buffer that we did just deplete, so... Not the smartest thing we've ever done. Not the dumbest either. So let's continue our pattern. We're going to continue to find some things. So Nequadria, that's fine. We've just sorted that. Silicon rubber. Looks like we're out of silicon rubber. So our chemical reactors over here are still actually using the stocking input hatches and buses that are currently broken in this version of the game. That's okay. I think we can probably just turn them on. It's this one. Has to be made, and then the rubber. Running at high voltage? No thanks. Since we're just splashing out for no reason, of course, let's just use ZPM energy hatches. They're really not that expensive these days. And if power was a concern, well, I would have solved it. So there we are. That's a bit quicker. Let's check our silicon rubber. Good, that's just going to keep buffering. Let's let that run for a little bit. We'll also set a non-passive solidification recipe here. Let's see, what's next? What things are... Oops, that's not it. We need to request 16 and see what we're missing, so we can just request these easier. Nequadria, that's fine. Silicon rubber, we're about to fix. Carbon. And that is it. Okay. So let's check the energy clusters now. I think we've just solved our carbon problem. The only reds we should see are silicon rubber and Nequadria. There's the silicon rubber. And there's the Nequadria. Perfect. So hopefully now we've solved enough of our buffer issues that we can request the first 16 energy clusters. This used to be finishing the game with that beautiful battery that we made last time, but now it's barely even a dent. So let's do one craft and let's see how quickly we can get the other one going. Nah, it's going to be our crystal CPUs and wafers and yeah. Okay, alright, all good. We've got a lot of waiting ahead of us. So I'll be back when the first 16 have crafted. So it has been an uncomfortably long amount of time since the last recording segment of this. It's been about 2 days in real life. And that is because it has taken that long to craft 64 energy clusters. And not because the craft of the energy cluster is that big, it's just because I'm slow and we ran out of so many things. At one point we ran out of styrene butadiene rubber. At one point we ran out of silicon rubber. At one point we were actually out of Nequadria, so we had to rejig that system. We also ran out of neutronium at one point, not an issue anymore. And it just took so long to rebuild up the buffer of wafers, so at the moment I have just increased their storage size to 8,192 for most of them. Because I don't ever want to have to do a craft like this over 4 different batches and 2 days. But the best part about that being done is that we can finally make the Drac Ion Runic Wave Generator. We actually have everything we need, it's not that expensive. Let's just start the craft. And at this point, let's also prepare for the rest of the structure. So we're going to need some prismalium frames, and I don't actually think we can even make those. So let's just set a recipe for that. We can make high power casing, fusion casing Mark III, coils, assembly line things, that's fine. The shrub laser beam concentrator and emitter capable stellarium casing, not so much. So let's figure out how we can make that in a sec. We need some stellarium casing, the structurally integral kind. And then we need aluminum casing as well. And dragon steel glass as well. Can't forget about the dragon steel glass. That looks to be all the things that we're going to need here. So recipe for that, the frame is set. Probably the world's most expensive casing. Let's set that. So we need to be able to make stellarium frames as well, but let's just keep going through. Cool, that's the same thing there. So let's set that. We're going to need stellarium frame boxes, stellarium rods, double stellarium plates, single stellarium plates, lumium casing. We can make plates, which is fantastic. We just need to be able to make the frames and the rods. And then dragon steel glass is just liquid dragon steel and fusion glass. Very expensive, actually. Then we can extract that, that's fine, and that is everything that we need. So let's put those into a pattern and start requesting them. Oh, it's finally crafting. It's gonna take 1600 seconds, which is 27 minutes, but that's great. We've got step 1 done. Oh yeah, we got it. We've got our ionic runic wave generator. We're going to need to upgrade this assembler before we can even craft our new machine. And there we are. We can just hit it with a soft mallet. Now our large assembler is running at UV. We can put our runic wave generator back into the system and request the shrub laser beam concentrator and emitter capable stellarium casing. Shouldn't be too difficult to craft. And more waiting ensues. Alright, we finally have everything to finish off the craft of the runic circuitry assembling station, and this has been a long time coming. So let's just get a vibe of its general structure. It looks like it has lumium assembling, high power, and then another assembling control. It's got 6 high prismalium frames, and then some funky stuff here. So let's just get it assembled. Alright, I suppose let's kill the zombie that's trying to moonwalk up on me first. Now let's build. And you know, maybe while we're here... And there we are. How does it look? Pretty weird, right? But that is step 1 to our Stargate, the runic circuitry assembler. With it, we can do a total of nothing right now because we don't have singularities. But it seems that there are 2 types of plating. We have the runic pathway plating and the runic engraved plating. And each of these is going to require a dense enriched Naquata plate or a dense Naquata plate. I think that's it. Yep, and then a singularity, and its quality and rarity, I suppose, determines how long it takes and how many you get out of this. So I guess we'll just have to optimize that in the next episode, because it's time to wrap up for this week. I cannot believe that it took an entire episode just to make one multi-block, but that's Gregtech, right? We've now pretty much finished this line. All we need is the large quantum compressor, and then we can make the platings. But the real beasts are yet to come. Void ingots, Stargate rods, and the actual components. And once we have that, we can consider ourselves masters of star technology. But that's going to be for next time. This week is wrapped up nicely though. Thanks all for watching. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. The buttons are down below. Like and subscribe and leave a comment. We're getting close to finishing, so the more mod pack suggestions I can get before I finish, the quicker I'm going to be able to start the next series. So if you're looking forward to that and more, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.